All right, friends. Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to sharing another class with you. My name is David, and as always, it's an honor to share these practices with you on this platform, as well as other platforms as well, too. Today's topic in today's class, we're going to be doing a slow flow with gentle movements and holds and stretches for our practice today. But a topic that's been coming up a lot for me over this past week has been the topic of forgiveness. In fact, yesterday, it's funny, I was getting ready to put a post out on it, but I was getting ready to meet a client too, so I put a pause on the post, and so I guess I pocket dialed the word forgiveness, and that's what ended up posting, but it was really cool to see some responses and some comments, so I figure it was meant to be, it's meant to be. But on this topic of forgiveness, I've been asking my classes this week, how many of us have a difficult time forgiving ourselves? Maybe it's for things that we did in the past. Maybe it's some things that other people have done to us. But how many of us struggle with letting go? And I feel this is an important and valuable question to ask because I, for one, have struggled with it. Occasionally it still comes up for me as well too. But I do know that learning techniques to be able to let go and be able to forgive offers a lot more space in the present moment and allows us to be more rooted here and now rather than the past. And to touch on this a little bit before we get into movement, when we don't forgive ourselves or forgive something, we are basically being tied to the past because an event or an experience or a situation occurred in the past. And while we are here in this present moment right now, we are still energetically speaking. By energetically, I mean we are putting energy into mentally thinking about what took place in the past. And so then instead of being fully here and experience whatever is unfolding in this now present moment, we are fixated and focused on what happened in the past. Now, because of that, that can result in a lot of different tensions and stress that build up inside of the body. We would call that a psychosomatic response. Because if, for instance, something happened to me in the past, someone did something to me in the past, I may be still holding a grudge. I may still be holding tension towards that. And so then when another similar experience happens in the now present moment, because I haven't fully gotten over that past experience, now I'm holding on to it. And so I never really get to experience you or whatever situation's unfolding because now I have this thin film of thought about the situation, about what could happen and things like that. And as we move through our practice today, I want to share some personal stories about forgiveness, but also help bring awareness towards, sometimes we pick on ourselves, we beat ourselves up, we tear ourselves down, we look at ourselves in the mirror and we poke out different parts of ourselves, which are bad or which are good. What does that really do in serving? And I feel a lot of that has been conditioned in our culture, conditioned in our own programming that causes that thought process to arise. I find that one thing that we can do is forgive ourselves for thinking that way because most likely somebody who had an opinion about something may have pushed that opinion onto us. And so then we, through nurture and nature, began to attach to that, and as a result of that, we started to berate ourselves. Can we forgive ourselves for that? As we move to this practice today, take your time with the movements, breathe. If you need to hold a pose longer than, I'm moving, totally fine. This is about you connecting to your body, and as we bring up some insights, or as I share some insights, I should say, if it resonates with you, awesome. If it doesn't, that's okay too. All I'm sharing is a perspective. But, more than anything, I'm grateful that you're here. I hope that you find this practice brings good health, and I look forward to If you have any comments, please leave comments afterwards. All right, let's head to our mats. If you have blocks, a strap, and a bolster, please grab that. And we're going to start laying down on our backs. And as we lay down on our backs, if you want to place the bolster underneath your head for support, please do so. You can let your left hand rest on your heart, and your right hand rest on your belly. As we move through the practice today, as always, emphasizing long, slow, balanced, deep breaths to help calm the nervous system. And as we move into this practice, if you've been holding on to something, if you have been, clinging to something in the past, if you did something wrong that you've been beating yourself up about, maybe we take this hour and 15 minutes of time to release some of that, to let go of that. That way we can create a clearer space for being more present here and now. As we arrive into our practice, closing the eyes, let the head relax, let the shoulders drop down the back, let the collarbones spread, let your arms relax. Feel your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, begin to release down towards the ground. Relax your hips, relax your pelvis, buttocks. Relax the legs, upper legs, knees, lower legs, ankles, feet, toes. Feel your hands resting on your body. Feel the breath moving in and out of the body. Let's start to breathe slowly together. Please take a long, slow breath in. Breathe down the spine into the lower belly. Chest expands. Exhale, letting it go, releasing. Inhale, breathing down the spine into the lower belly, chest expands. Exhale, releasing, letting it go. One more time, inhale, breathing down the spine into the lower belly, chest expands. And exhale, letting it go. Continue to breathe on your own. And as you breathe on your own, let's just take a moment and scan from our head down to our toes. Continue to breathe deep. And as you scan throughout your body, observe where there's any stress, any tension, tightness, soreness, pain, imbalances, misalignments of any kind. As we move deeper into our practice, stay with the breath as much as you can. Let go of thoughts the best that you can. Be here now. Now, as always, if you have an intention for your practice, if you have a personal goal, if you're letting go of something, maybe we're simply using the mantra, I forgive myself. Whatever it may be, take a moment and focus on it. And let's all take a long, slow, Full, deep breath in. Fill your lungs all the way up to the top. Feel the belly rise, chest expand, collarbones spread. Relax the spine, relax the face. Hold at the top of the inhale. And as you hold, focus on your intentions, whatever they may be. Be clear, be specific with it, see them happening. Exhale, letting it go. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. Let's do an Om. Inhale. Inhale, fill lungs up. And exhale, letting it go. Gently release the arms down along your sides. And let's start to flow. Moving into your Ujjayi breath, breathing in and out of your nose. Start to move the fingers, move the toes. Circling out your wrists, circling out the ankles. Forgiveness. If there's somebody in your life that you feel like you should forgive, maybe forgive them. Simply say to yourself, I forgive you. If you've been working on forgiving yourself about something, and you're in the comfort of your own home, maybe say to yourself, I forgive myself. Switch the direction of the ankles and wrists. You know, we miss out so much on the present moment because we are holding on to a state of unforgiveness. Gently releasing the hands down, releasing the ankles and feet. On an inhale, roll the shoulders upwards to the ears. And on the exhale, roll the shoulders down the back. Inhale, roll shoulders upwards to the ears. Exhale, roll the shoulders down the back. Inhale, roll shoulders forward and up. Exhaling, shoulders back and down, reversing. Inhale, roll shoulders back and up. Exhale, shoulders forward and down. Inhale, shoulders back and up. Exhale, shoulders forward and down. Inhale, rolling shoulders back and up. Exhale, rolling shoulders forward and down. Pointing the toes, inhale, sweep the arms up and over the head, palms lightly touch and reach. Exhaling, flex the feet, arms down along the sides. Inhale, point the toes, sweep the arms smoothly up and over the head, palms, fingertips touch. Exhaling, flex the feet, releasing your arms down along the sides. Inhale, pointing toes, sweeping the arms up and over the head, palms lightly touch, fingertips touch. And exhale, flex the feet, releasing the arms down along the sides. Right leg, inhale, draw the right knee to the chest, keep your arms along the sides. Exhale, please extend the right leg forward, hovering the right leg above the ground. Press your lower back down towards the ground. Inhale, bending the right knee in towards your chest. Exhale, extending the right leg forward, hovering leg off the ground, collarbones spread, press the lower back down. One more time. Inhale, bring the right knee in towards your chest. And exhale, lengthening the right leg forward, lower the right leg down towards the ground. Switching, inhale, draw the left knee in towards your chest. Keep the lower back pressing down. Exhale, extend your left leg forward, left heel hovers off the ground. Inhale, bringing the left knee into your chest. Exhale, extending our left leg forward, hovering left leg off the ground, lower back pressing down. Inhale, bring the left knee into the chest. And on the exhale, lengthening your left leg forward, lowering the left foot down, shake the legs out, shake the arms out. Very good. So let's bring our right knee into the chest, interlacing the hands around the right shin. Just slowly start to rock your right knee side to side, back and forth, getting into the hips, into the glutes, into the inner groin. As you rock side to side, forgiveness. Forgiveness doesn't mean that we have to go back to a person and necessarily, make an apology, especially if it's a particular tense situation. We can always give that time, and then if it feels right after a certain amount of time, maybe we move towards that direction. But we can first start with just forgiving ourselves for mistakes. We forget sometimes that as human beings, we move into this weird sort of perfectionist mode where we got to be perfect at everything. Draw the right thigh into your chest, flex your right foot, flex your left foot. Let's breathe together. Inhale. And exhale. And so continue breathing on your own. As we live out this idealism of what perfectionism is in our own mind's projection, because remember, perfectionism is also a conditioned response, we beat ourselves up. Can we forgive ourselves for that? Depending on the types of families, the types of cultures, the types of philosophies we grew up with, we may have instilled this belief that we have to be perfect at everything. So much so that it starts to damage our relationships. We start to develop unhealthy relationships with perhaps substances, unhealthy relationships with people. And then unfortunately, that just tends to cascade into further problems. Take a big breath in. Exhale, right hand to the right knee, left hand to the left hip. Slowly circle the right knee out. And as these things start to escalate, well, we also start to notice dis-ease starts to build up, whether it's in the physical body or through perhaps the things we start to say to other people, the things that perhaps we begin to post online. We have to recognize and remember our humanness, but we also have to recognize that everybody here is a human being too, that we may be interacting with. Not including sentient beings, but also if we'd like to include that, we can. And so as a result, we have to just check in with ourselves. Can we forgive ourselves for the mistakes that we made? Can we let go? Learning to surrender that creates a lot of space, a lot less tension. And I'll talk about that in a moment. Opposite direction with the right knee. As you circle your leg out, go bigger. Find the outer edges of the inner groin. And so psychosomatically speaking, when we're still holding on to something in the past, we start to see some interesting developments in the physical form of the body. We start to see how when we're holding on to something in the past, tension develops in the shoulders, that starts to work its way into the neck. That may start to show up in the face. We may start to scrunch the face. We may start to experience headaches. As a result of that, the thoughts start to become a lot faster. As the thoughts become faster, the breath becomes faster. We start to experience a rolling of the shoulders forward and down. We start to see postural changes. As the posture starts to change, that creates compression on the belly, rib cage, and lung system. I'll finish in just a moment. Bring your right knee into your chest. Inhale. Exhale, release the right leg down. Slowly bring your left knee into your chest, opposite interlace of the hands around the left shin, rocking side to side. Now, as you rock side to side, I'll go back to what I was sharing. So then we start to see these postural changes that affect the upper thoracic cavity, and sometimes that can lead to addictive practices like addictive eating, depression eating. So then we start to see a development of adipose tissue. We start to see development of visceral fat around organs. That creates less space for the lungs to be able to descend down. And as a result of that, that decreases lung volume. That also affects our digestive tracts. You can see how this begins to escalate further and further and further. I'm not talking about just one case of unforgiveness. I'm talking about many, many, many cases over and over and over again. We have to begin to forgive ourselves and practice what some would call self-love. And coming back towards center, bring your left knee into your chest, flex the left foot, flex the right foot, collarbone spread, shoulder blades down the back, big breath in. Exhale, letting go. Breathing deeply on your own. And this topic of self-love is an interesting topic because to love the self, I've had many conversations with teachers on this that have been opening and just heart opening. But to love the self, it's sort of like a knife sharpening itself. Okay, a knife can't sharpen itself. It uses a stone, it uses water, it uses, certain angles, and sooner or later we learn the right direction and where to direct some of that love. And what I've found is in this practice of self-love, one, it is recognizing these different areas where maybe I've been denying myself love because perhaps in some point in my life I've been denied that love by someone else, and so therefore felt that I was unworthy or undeserving. But even more so, right hand to right hip, left hand to left knee, circle your left knee out. Even more so, it is being more rooted and grounded in the presence of my own heart. So that way, when I choose to speak to people, when I choose to interact with the world around me, it is now more of a heart-based connection rather than a mind-based connection. My mind comes up with all sorts of things. Lots of thoughts, positive, negative, one after another, after another, after another. That's just what the human mind does. And depending on how we've been conditioned, well, certain thoughts are going to be more predominant than other thoughts. That's okay. But are we pausing to reflect to how these thoughts are affecting other people when we choose to say or speak them? And I find when we're really practicing that self-love, we're pausing with our own minds and coming back down to our hearts, taking a deep breath, maybe replacing that old thought system with a new thought system, like I'm worthy of love, I'm open to love. Switch the direction of the circling of the knee. Can we forgive ourselves? Can we forgive ourselves in the way that we berate ourselves? Can we forgive ourselves in the way that we compare ourselves to others? Can we forgive ourselves in how we may have treated ourselves in our bodies at one point in time? These are just honest questions. And here's the thing, friends. If the answer is no, please reach out to me. Please. If the answer is no, please reach out because you are deserving of forgiveness. Oftentimes, we're just acting off of what we know in that moment, And sometimes there's scarcity there, sometimes there's fear there. Bring your left knee into your chest, bring your right knee into your chest. Take a big breath in. And on the exhale, gently lower the feet down to the ground with bent knees. And let's take the knees wide apart. Take your arms out to the sides. Now as we hold this pose, we're going to hold this pose for a few minutes here. And allow the inner groin to open up. Let your lower back relax down towards the ground. And I'm going to take a moment and talk about forgiveness of our bodies. You know, depending on where we may have grown up and how we grew up, there has been a belief instilled that certain parts of the body are gross, certain part of the body are nasty, certain part of the bodies are bad or naughty or vain. And the interesting thing is when you are first born as a child, you are the most perfect thing in this entire world. We pee on ourselves, we poop on ourselves, we do all sorts of things. And it's really the parental, issue, I feel, at some point. But as a child, you're beautiful. You don't know any better. You're just here. And the whole world knows it too. When you want something as a child, you cry, you laugh and you giggle, your eyes sparkle. There's something about that. But as day by day goes by year goes by, all of a sudden that sparkle, that magic, that perfectionism starts to disappear, and all of a sudden, we start to get into adolescence and teens and adulthood, and now we're just jaded and broken, and we are just add whatever you'd like to add there, but we start to see the world in an incredibly negative way, as opposed to recognizing that perfectionism in what it is. And that's really hard, because for some people in this world, they may not have had a very good experience in seeing that perfectionism growing up. Some children are abandoned. Some children are affected, touched, abused. And it's really, really sad. And so then we build up all of these different mechanisms of control, of safety, of security in order to protect ourselves. And so I find it's helpful to talk about this stuff. This posture that we're doing right now is an incredibly open posture, specifically down in the pelvic region. And through different types of doctrine and philosophical thought, for some people, the pelvic region is a really bad, naughty region. Please forgive yourselves for thinking that. Every part of your pelvis, whatever part it is just as perfect and whole as the rest of your body too. And if you'd like to talk about that sometime, I'm more than open to talking to you about it. We get caught up in commercialism and the propaganda of the world that in order for you to be perfect and whole, you got to look a certain way. It's not the case. That's how you sell product. But we got to start looking at ourselves as perfect and whole. Otherwise, we are trapped in that old habitual pattern. Your sex organs are fine just the way they are. Your cycle, if you're a woman, is perfect and whole just the way it is. I was talking about this in class, and some shame in me came up, because sometimes as a kid, especially as a young boy, when you hear about that stuff, and depending on who you've been exposed to, who's an adult, for many people, instead of seeing that as a part of nature, the weekly, the moon cycle I'm talking about right now, men will sometimes go, oh, that's gross, or that's nasty, or that's disgusting. We have to change that paradigm. Forgive yourself, please, for thinking that way, because at the end of the day, it is a natural part of nature. And it demeans the other person to think negatively about them and all of that. We have to learn to love ourselves, all of it. every little bit of it. Gently take your hands down to the outer thighs, outer knees. Slowly bring your knees together. Bring your knees into your chest. Take a big breath in. Exhale, letting it go. Gently roll over to your right side. Use your left hand. Press yourselves up and let's come on to our hands and knees. Now for man, I do feel that if we are truly rooted in our own manhood, none of that stuff actually bothers us. Or I should say, in our masculinity, none of that stuff should really bother us. But that is sometimes a topic of adolescence that still comes up in adulthood when we haven't fully come to terms with that stuff. Please step your right foot forward, left knees back, sitting the hips and pelvis forward and down. Bend into your right knee. Let's come into a low runner's lunge. Now we're going to move in this pose, shoulders over the wrists. Inhale, lift your chest up, looking forward. Exhale, take the hips back, straightening through the right leg, flex the right foot. Inhale, please bend into your right knee, sit the hips and pelvis forward and down, looking forward. Exhaling, hips back, lengthen right leg, flexing your right foot. Inhale, bend into the right knee, sit the hips and pelvis forward and down, looking forward. Exhaling, hips back, lengthening through your right leg, flex your right foot. 2 more, inhale, bend right knee, sit into the hips, looking forward, lift the chest. Exhaling, hips back, lengthening through the right leg, flexing the right foot. 1 more, inhale, bend into your right knee, sit the hips and pelvis forward and down, looking forward. Exhaling, hips back, lengthening through the right leg, flexing through the right foot. Inhale, please bend into your right knee, tuck your left toes, lift your left knee, runner's lunge. Exhale, press down through your left hand on the block, reach your right arm upwards towards the sky, twist. Inhale, we look up, gaze up. Exhale, lower the right hand down towards your block. Let's switch. Inhale, reach your left arm upwards towards the sky. Open the chest. Exhale, lowering the left hand down towards the ground. Inhaling, reaching the right arm upwards, bending into the right knee. Exhale, lowering the right hand down. Inhale, reach the left arm upwards. Then exhale, lower the left hand down towards the ground. Removing the blocks. Inhale, walk your hands to your left, wide-legged forward fold. Exhale, fold in. Inhaling, half lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhaling, half lift. And exhale, folding it in. Press through the feet. Inhale, rise, reaching upwards, and our palms touch. Exhaling, hands to our heart center. Inhaling, arms reaching out and up, palms touch. Exhale, wide-legged forward fold. Release the hands, fingertips smoothly to the ground. Inhaling, half lift. Exhale, folding it in. Press to rise again. Inhale, rising upwards, reaching up, palms touch. Exhaling, hands down to our heart center. Inhaling, arms out and up, reaching up. Exhale, wide-legged forward fold. We release the hands, fingertips down to the ground. Inhaling, half lift. Exhale, folding in. Inhale, press to stand, rising one more time, reaching up, palms touch. Exhale, draw the hands down to our heart center. Inhaling, arms reaching up and our palms touch. Exhale, wide-legged forward fold, releasing the hands, fingertips down to the ground. Inhaling, half lift. Exhale, bend into your left knee, shift the weight to the back of the mat. Inhale, we come to center. Exhale, bend into the right knee, shift the weight to the front of the mat. 2 more. Inhale, center. Exhale, bend into left knee, shifting to the back of the mat. Inhale, center. Exhale, bend into right knee. 1 more time. Inhaling, center. Exhale, bending into the left knee. And inhale, center. Exhale, bend into your right knee and pause. On the inhale, walk your hands to the front of the mat, pivoting on the feet. Exhale, lower the left knee to the ground and slide the right foot back, tabletop position, plant the palms. Inhaling, pull the heart forward, look forward, cow pose. Exhaling, cat pose, round the spine, tucking the tailbone. Inhale, cow pose, heart pulls forward, looking forward. Exhale, cat pose, round the spine, tucking the tailbone. Inhaling, cow. Exhaling, cat. 2 more. Inhaling, cow. Exhaling, cat. And inhaling, cow. Exhaling, cat. Finding a neutral spine, grab your blocks. As you grab the blocks on an inhale, step your left foot forward between the hands, sit the hips and pelvis forward and down. Exhale, take the hips back and lengthen through your left leg, flexing the left foot. Inhale, bend into the left knee, sit the hips and pelvis forward and down, looking forward. Exhaling, hips back, we lengthen through our left leg. Inhale, bend into the left knee. Sit the hips and pelvis forward and down, looking forward. Exhale, hips back. We lengthen through the left leg. 2 more times. Inhale, bend into the left knee. Sit the hips and pelvis forward and down, looking forward. Exhale, hips back, lengthening the left leg. And inhale. Bend into the left knee, sit the hips and pelvis forward and down, looking forward. Exhale, hips back. We lengthen through our left leg. On an inhale, please bend into your left knee, tuck your right toes, lift your right knee, runner's lunge. Exhale, rooting through your right hand, reach the left arm upwards, pause in your twist. Inhale, gaze up, bend into the left knee. Exhale, lowering the left hand down towards your block. Inhale, sweep the right arm upwards. We reach and open. Exhale, lowering the right hand down. Inhale, reaching the left arm upwards. Exhale, lower the left hand down. Inhale, reaching our right arm upwards. Exhale, right hand down. 1 more. Inhale, reach your left arm up. Exhale, left hand down. And inhale, our right arm reaches up. We twist. Exhale, right hand down. Remove the blocks. Inhale, lifting the chest up. Exhale, walk your hands to your right. Wide-legged forward folds. Inhaling, half lift. Exhale, folding it in. Inhaling, half lift. Exhale, folding in. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, folding it in. On an inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend into your right knee. Shift the weight to the back of your mat. Inhale, come back towards center. Exhale, bend into your left knee. Shift the weight to the front. Inhaling, center. Exhaling to the right. Inhaling, center. Exhaling to your left. Inhaling, center. Exhale, bending the right. And inhale, center. Exhale, bend into your left and pause. On the inhale, walk your hands towards the front of your mat, pivoting on the feet. Exhale, lower the right knee down, slide the left foot back. Tabletop position, 5 more cow and cat poses. Inhale, pull the heart forward, look forward, cow. Exhaling, cat, rounding the spine, tucking your tailbone. Inhaling, cow, our heart pulls forward, looking forward. Exhaling, cat, round spine, tuck tailbone. 3 more. Inhaling, cow, our hearts pull forward. Exhale, cat, we round our spines and tuck our tailbones. 2 more. Inhaling, cow. Exhaling, cat. 1 more. Inhaling, cow. Exhaling, cat. Good. Finding a neutral spine. As we find a neutral spine, inhale, shifting forward. Exhale, lower the chest, lower the chin, come all the way down onto your bellies. And let's make our way up into a Sphinx pose. Our shoulders are over the elbows. We railroad track the forearms. We root our palms down into the ground. And we lift our chest up. As we lift our chest up, reach your toes back, lengthening through your legs. Press the pelvis down into the ground. And all I'd like you to do is ever so gently just rock your hips side to side, but continue lifting your chest up. And you'll feel a stretch throughout the rib cage, throughout the rectus abdominis muscle, core muscles, maybe even into your side waistline. Now, coming back to forgiveness, there's a lot of sometimes parental forgiveness. As being a parent now and with my stepchildren, when you act a certain way around the kids, I don't know about anybody else, but for me, I can definitely see like my father, my mother coming out in my reactions sometimes to kids' behavior. And sometimes like I go, oh, there's my dad. And I love my dad, but sometimes, the way and the parenting style, well, that's conditioned too. And so I've learned to forgive my father, mother, and also forgive myself for the mistakes that I made. And I'm not demonizing anybody in this. It's just, I may have been holding on to some resentments based on how they may have parented me. But at the end of the day, they were just doing the best they could. Lift the chest, take a full breath in. Exhale, gently lower yourself down towards the ground. Reach the left arm forward, reach the right arm back, bend the right knee, grab the right ankle, grab the right foot. As you bring your right heel towards the buttocks, the right knee reaches back. Now, one thing I can say for sure in my household is that I know that my parents loved me. I didn't always agree with how they may have done things, but I know deeply that they loved me. I know for some people that is very, very difficult and is a challenge. Where can we forgive? Did someone hurt us? Did someone bother us? Did someone touch us inappropriately? These types of topics are very, very difficult sometimes to touch on because they're so deeply rooted. I've been sharing some personal stuff at the centers that I work with some situations that happened to me growing up. And when it comes to sensitivity around some of these topics, we have to realize that forgiveness is an ongoing practice. We forgive ourselves first, and then we move from that space. Slowly reach the right arm forward, right leg back, bend your left knee, reach back with the left hand, grab the left ankle. In forgiveness, it means that I choose to let this go. It doesn't mean that I'm going to let it happen again or repeat it again. It just means that I choose in this now moment to forgive myself for holding on to it for so long, and I choose to let it go. Deep breath in. Exhale. Big breath in. Exhale. And if you're struggling with forgiveness, I would say please go see a therapist. There's nothing wrong with that. We need outside help sometimes. Release the left foot down. Slide the hands by the low ribs. Press yourselves back into a child's pose. Because at the end of the day, we're not going to find the answer in a pill bottle. We're not going to find the answer at the bottom of a beer bottle or a bottle of alcohol. I can say that through personal experience. There are so many different numbing behaviors and habits that we pick up because we choose not to forgive. We choose to hold on to resentment. Going back to the psychosomatic reactions, when we're still holding on to resentment and grudges, whether it's a workplace grudge, whether it is a relationship grudge, that stuff infects us. That stuff is viral, and it affects the people around us as well, too. We may start clenching our teeth. We may start grinding our teeth. We may have difficulty sleeping at nighttime. This is known to cause a level of dis-ease, so then we aren't fully rested, and we're going back out into the day, not fully rested, still holding on to the grudges of yesterday. You can see how this domino effect plays out. And little by little by little, we may not see the difference, but the people around us begin to notice. And if we're really listening, and if we have close friends, we won't deny it. We will lean into that, because our true close friends love us and care about us. You have to tune into this. Big breath in. Exhale. Well, I should say, if we want to feel a sense of liberation and freedom, we have to tune into this. Deep breath in. Exhaling. And big breath in. Exhaling. Walk the hands in, lift the chest up. Slowly take the feet off to the side. Let's take our legs out in front of us. I was talking with one of my teachers about this yesterday. Flex the feet. As you flex the feet, arms reach upwards. Inhale. Exhale, reach out and over the legs, folding in. He was a Marine, and I was in the Air Force. And we were talking about how we sometimes don't forgive ourselves. And we were talking about our boot camp experiences. We were talking about our military life experiences and how certain things shape us. For instance, when I went to the Air Force Academy, throughout your 4 years there, it's like one big yell fest. You learn a lot, a wonderful experience, but man, it can condition you in certain ways. And some of the stuff that people do to you in the era that I went through the academy was many times absurd, sometimes ridiculous. It's like one big fraternity, sorority same time, there was some stuff that, I remember I did as a cadet that I had struggled with forgiving myself for. How I treated people, how I treated teammates, but also how other people may have treated me. And that resentment and that build-up carried into not only time there at the academy, but also in service and in my social life and my dating life and relationships and everything else. And we sort of had a come to Jesus moment where we were like, we really have to forgive ourselves for that old belief system and carrying that into the present moment. Because how much of life and experience and connection with people had we lost out on because we hadn't fully forgiven ourselves and others that were also conditioned in similar ways that we had been. Big breath in. Exhale. Deep breath in. Exhale. How many times do we continue to push ourselves in times that we really don't need to be pushing ourselves? Can we forgive ourselves for that? Inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, bend your right knee, bring the sole of the right foot into the inner left thigh. Turn your chest towards the left leg, arms reach up, inhale. Exhale, folding in. Another topic I was talking to my friend about yesterday too was, he asked me, he said something to the effect of, do you struggle with self-righteousness? And I really was trying to dodge this question really hard. But the truth of the answer is from my perspective, yeah, sometimes I do struggle with self-righteousness. And he said, forgive yourself for that. And I said, what? And he said, you need to forgive yourself for those times you thought you were being self-righteous. He said, I know you and I know your heart. And he said, I know the direction in which you're going. Just be easy on yourself and just remember when you speak or share or post, whatever it is you do, just be in your heart and not about who's right or wrong, but just be in your heart when you speak. And when he said that to me, a sense of liberation came over me. It was an acknowledgement of something that I had believed in. It's forgiving myself for something that I had believed in. And now moving forward with that new knowledge. Inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, let's switch. Bring the sole of your left foot to the right leg. Flex your right foot, arms reach up, inhale. Exhale, reach out and over the leg. Because the fact of the matter is, every single one of us has opinions. And we also have perspectives. And I feel that it really comes down to which one are we sharing? Are we sharing a perspective or an opinion? And if it's an opinion, how has that opinion been conditioned? If it's perspective, how has that perspective been conditioned? But we can also learn to share in a way that is more heart-centered. And I feel that's a big stepping stone for many of us that are doing the work. Big breath in. Exhale. I can say for sure, I don't think I'm right with a lot of things. I think that perhaps I just offer a perspective, and I don't know if it's right or wrong. But I do know that there's something stirring in the heart, and when something's stirring in the heart, maybe we should speak about it and not be afraid to talk about it. Inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, letting it go. Shake the legs out. And then let's come and bring the soles of our feet together. As we bring the soles of our feet together, let's take the hands to our feet and just gently massage the feet out. The feet are an interesting thing. And I talk about this to a lot of my classes, but for a lot of people, the feet are this dirty, or another area of the body. Oh, it's a dirty part of the body. When in fact, it's, if anything, especially if we're not walking around barefoot all the time, it's probably one of the cleanest areas of the body because it doesn't have a lot of elemental exposure. But, as we look at the body as a whole, can we at least start to look at the body as more whole and complete? Like, your feet are beautiful, toes are beautiful, all of it's beautiful. Why is that such an impasse? And this is where I would ask, is there conditioning there that makes it that way? And if so, are we willing to forgive ourselves for believing that narrative and letting go of that? Because at the end of the day, what do our feet do? They help hold us up. They help us move forward in life. Yeah, take a big breath in, lift the chest up. Exhale, walk your hands forward and fold in. I challenge those that may be listening to this to maybe after this class, maybe go to a bathroom mirror and stand just a few feet away and just look at yourself in the eyes and say, I forgive myself. And even as you do that, I would say observe any resistance or any pushback that may arise when you do that. Because sometimes that resistance is a tell. It's a showing of the body psychosomatically where we're still locked up. Big breath in. Exhale, walk the hands forward. I'm 41 turning 42, and the last thing that I want to do in this lifetime is walk another step forward holding on to some BS, some made up, contrived conditioned program that doesn't make sense for me in my life and what I choose to create in this lifetime. With your next inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, let's cross the legs. And as we cross the legs, place the hands on the knees, palms face down, lift your chest up. Inhale. Exhale, circle your head out. Circle your head out. Another exercise I sometimes have people do in more of a clinical setting is write a letter of forgiveness. Either writing it to yourself, or maybe if you lied, stole, cheated, whatever, you can write a letter to somebody else too. And you don't have to give that person the letter. You can just go through the somatic action, physiological action of writing it out, putting it down on paper, and releasing it. There's something to that process that a lot of people deny or push away or don't want to do because of what emotions or feelings may come up. But can we forgive ourselves for that too? Circle your spine out. Then, ceremoniously speaking, after you write that letter, maybe you fold it up and you do a releasing ceremony. You can, put it someplace safe. You can light it on fire, burn it up, release it, let it go. Whatever it may be. But we have to learn to forgive ourselves totally and completely, and we also have to learn to forgive others totally and completely. And this extends in all ways. I know it sometimes sucks. I know it's sometimes sticky. I mean, I've been doing this, in the political world. I've been doing this and, all sorts of things. Forgive this person. They're just running off of a narrative that they think's right. I know that sounds yucky and gross, and there's probably some pushback there, but I mean, forgiveness is unconditional. It really is. And I don't know what's after this lifetime, but I do not want to be holding on to more than I absolutely need to. With your next inhale, rising up. Exhale, switch the crossing of your legs, other shin on top. And I would hope, with loving friends out there and people that truly support, then they would have a conversation with me if they were saying things or seeing things that I was doing. Because that's accountability, that's integrity. And if we're really here for each other, we're not berating each other, but we are calling each other out in a loving way, saying, hey, I hear you're saying this, but your behavior is, demonstrating this, and I see a disconnect. Can we talk about this? I feel that's fair and it's healthy, and it helps us grow. Circle your head in the opposite direction. And the thing is for many people, they already criticize themselves enough, so then to receive criticism about that can sometimes seem damaging or it can be hurtful, but this is where we have to practice remaining open. And that's why I find like public shaming isn't always the best thing to do. If you're going to do it, then maybe do it in more of a private setting or one-on-one. It's so difficult sometimes too, especially, if you're putting stuff out there, like writing out online or internet, social media, is that social media in our environment right now is so supercharged, circle your spine out, that before sometimes we even take a breath to just see where this person's coming from, we just lead it with our thoughts rather than leading with our hearts. I've done this, and if I've ever offended someone with it, I do apologize. I sincerely do mean that. But it happens. And that's sometimes where that righteousness gets in the way, and that's where we forgive ourselves sometimes for that self-righteousness that may come up. Inhaling as you rise. Exhale as you circle your spine out. I sure do appreciate you, though, and I sure do appreciate these classes where maybe it's just one or two that are tuning in, maybe it's more. I don't really care about the numbers. I do find it's helpful, though, to share, and I do applaud people that speak up and do share and connect. It's so healing. With the next inhale, rising back up. Exhale, letting it go. All right. Let's start to make our way back onto our backs again. And if you want to bolster your head one more time, bolster your head again. Let's come into a happy baby pose. Now, if you can't grab the feet, that's okay. You can place the hands on the backs of the hamstrings. Let's press the soles of the feet upwards. Press your tailbone down. Spread through the collarbones. Create a long neck. And just remember, as I said earlier, and Louise Hayes talks about this in her book, You Can Heal Your Life, but just remember, you were that perfect little ball of energy when you came into this world. Everything about you. And guess what? Whatever age you are listening to this right now, your wrinkles are perfect. If you have little spots on your skin, that's perfect. If we begin to see it as all part of the divine creation of cause and effect, we can also start to shift our perspective. And then we can forgive the way in which we used to negate ourselves. Slowly bring your knees into your chest. Lengthen your left leg forward, right knee hugs in. Big breath, inhale. Exhale, twist across the body, over to your left. Right arm goes out to the right. I'm going to extend this extra pose out here. If you'd like to bend your left knee and reach down with your right hand, and you want a little extra quadricep stretch, maybe you come into the pose. Try to spread through the collarbones. Find your twist. Inhaling. Exhaling. And I will say, if I said anything during this topic today that was offensive, there was no intention there. I'm still learning and growing with this stuff too, so please forgive me. I talk about this Hawaiian prayer quite a bit. One of my teachers, Dr. Patricia Wynne Jones, She always tells me, and we text each other almost every day at certain times of the day, but she texts me all the time to remember the Hawaiian prayer, ho'oponopono, which means, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. And I always try to say that after each class, because I truly am. I'm sorry if anything I say offends or affects you in a negative way. It's never intended to. I do ask for forgiveness. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. And I sincerely mean it when I say I love you. I love you past the object of your body, you. I love you through and through. Big breath in. Exhale, release the left leg, right knee comes in. Let's switch legs. Left knee draws in, right leg forward, flexing through the feet. Inhale. Exhale, twist across the body over to your right. Left arm out to the left. And if this feels good and you want to bend your right knee, bend your right knee and bring it towards the buttocks. You can reach down with the left hand and grab it. And if you need to, after this class, maybe take a little time to keep reflecting. Where are some areas of unforgiveness that I still hold on to? Where are some areas that still, create discomfort? The process of svadhyaya, or self-study, or self-knowledge can be sometimes a bit laborious, but I promise you, over time, it becomes more fun because we get more and more used to it. And, we start to right our wrongs. We start to shift and change. And as we start to shift and change internally, we start to see that the external outside of us shifts and changes as well, too. And that, I find, is so beautiful. Take a big breath in. Exhale. Because who we thought we were dissolves to reveal this fresher, newer you. Releasing the right leg. Bring your left knee into your chest. Bring your right knee into your chest. Giving yourselves one final hug and a squeeze for our practice. Big breath in. Fill lungs up. Hug yourself into a tight ball. Give yourself a squeeze. And on the exhale, releasing everything down towards the ground. Shavasana. As you come into your Shavasana, one of the most important poses of the practice is close the eyes. Relax the top of the head, forehead, the back of the head, the ears. Relax your cheeks, lips, mouth, jaw, tongue. Relax the neck and the throat and the shoulders. Let the collarbones spread. Relax the arms, elbows, forearms. Breathing slow through the nose, inhaling. Exhaling. Relax the wrists, the hands and fingers. Let the chest continue to open. Relax your spine. Relax the belly, the rib cage, the side back, upper back, mid back, and lower back. Relax the hips, the pelvis, and the buttocks. Relax the upper legs, knees, lower legs. Relax the ankles, feet, and toes. Deep breath in. Exhale, letting it go. Full breath in. Exhaling. Shavasana as long as you need to. If you're ready to start getting up and moving about, start to move the fingers and toes, circle wrists and ankles. If you need to stay in Shavasana longer, stay in Shavasana longer. So as you circle out the wrists and ankles, roll the shoulders out, turn your head side to side, open and close the mouth, and on an inhale, reach the arms up and over the head, stretch, lengthen, extend. And on the exhale, arms down along the sides. Placing a gentle bend in your knees, roll to your left side. Use your right hand to press yourself up, and we'll come into a comfortable seated position. Come into a comfortable seated position. Place the hands over the heart. Now, we're just going to get into practice because speaking is just as much as a posture as doing any of the movements that we previously did. And all we're going to do is, if we make a mistake again, we're just going to say out loud, I forgive myself. So I'd like you to do this along with me. We'll do it 3 times. Be with your heart. In fact, if you can feel your heartbeat, feel your heartbeat. And then just repeat after me. Don't judge. I forgive myself. Let your shoulders drop down your back. Let's do that again. Please repeat after me. I forgive myself. Let the chest open. One more time. I forgive myself. Now, the other side of this is sometimes the ego can get in the way with forgiveness. And so I'd like us just to practice saying, I forgive you. Be in your heart as you say it. Let's try this. I forgive you. Again, I forgive you. One more time, from the heart. I forgive you. And just notice how that 3-word phrase made you feel. Please take a big breath in. Sigh it out. Let's finish with an Om, inhaling. Inhale, fill lungs up. Exhale, bow the head down to the hands and the heart. Honor yourself, your practices, for showing up on your mats. We honor all of our friends, families, loved ones, and supporters. And gratitude for the many gifts, blessing, abundance that shows up in our lives. Gratitude for the many teachers and guides that pass along these practices called yoga. Releasing the hands down, opening the eyes, and lifting your chins. Thank you so much, everyone who chose to join me. I appreciate you. I love you. Ho'oponopono, aho, namaste. Thanks so much, everyone. If you're interested, I will be teaching a 8 a.m. Thursday Pacific Standard Time breathwork class. It'll be an hour long from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Please DM me your email, and I will email you the link if you're interested in joining. I'd love to have you join. Love teaching the power of the breath. I feel like it's a good time right now, especially with everything going on, to help calm anxieties and stress. If you need anything at all, you can always reach out. My family and I are here to share our love and to share what we've learned. And more than anything, I'm just grateful for you. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.